This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session, we were discussing about basically so the ELK, like how do we push the logs, like structured logs, unstructured logs, like how do we are getting them, everything is working fine as expected, isn't it? So yeah, that's one thing. And yeah, basically, as I mentioned, so that comes to the conclusion of the end of sessions, basically. All right. So now we are going to just try to recall, like so what you have learned so far and where are you, so what is your next action items. Okay, so that is what we need to discuss. Okay, I think the cluster is already created. It's not needed, so let me just quickly. So we scheduled it every day, so I'll just stop that. Also, I'll delete it. Okay, so probably if you just take a look into roadmap data set, so we try to cover like most of its pieces, basically just to say that you are a DevOps guy. So one programming language going further, so you should know so something. So and also it tells you, so it doesn't matter which language you pick, but key is to get programming knowledge for automation. That's it. When you do that with shell scripting is also fine, but yeah, so programming language will bring more advantage. So that's where you can start with Golang. Okay, frankly saying, I don't know any of these. Okay, so some time back, I was good at Python, but yeah, so 6-7 years I don't have even hands-on onto this as well. So even I would say that I'm zero on any of this particular area, but still that's okay. I'm able to manage that. But at least I have a confidence that something comes up, I'll do that. Okay, so not like immediately bringing up everything, so I mean, not doing it everything on my own, but probably I'll do some googling and I should be able to do that. Okay, so that is something. Okay, and apart from that, this all mid part is basically like OS management, so things like that. Okay, so OS related stuff. So if you want to get little deeper with the OS, that's also good, but still that's okay. You have some decent knowledge and some utilities about, so some dealing with certain commands, so you okay, you can go with them. That's not a big deal. And coming about the concept, basically, HTTP, some reverse proxy, certain pieces, that. Okay, so um, which is fine. And the next thing is so the major tools comes when it comes to here. So here are the major tools. So you should know about CI/CD. So you should know about certain tools. So that's where so here are the preference from these guys, so which are widely used tools like Jenkins, Circle CI, GitLab CI, GitHub Actions. These are widely used. We covered one. Also, we covered one tool which is most so future in the market. So which is Azure DevOps as well. Okay, containers, we know Docker certain extent. Okay, configuration management, you are good at Ansible, we discussed, right? Container orchestration, you're okay at Kubernetes, and Terraform, you should be good at that because we did a lot. And infrastructure monitoring, Prometheus also you're good. And yeah, one piece which is missing over here is Jaeger, okay, or any APM, application monitoring. So probably we have done so many things, but we have not done the real application monitoring. Really, we didn't look into the insights of application monitoring. So even the project itself is from Instana. Our project itself is from Instana, but I didn't so looked into this. Okay, that's the thing we have done. And the next thing is logs management. So we have done with ELK, we're good at that. And so we did some patterns as well, basically, right? So availability, probably some design, so kind of high availability and security. So these concepts we probably, so looked into the patterns and cloud providers, AWS. So that means you're in a very decent way, like, what DevOps guy should know that you're good at that. So one thing which you're missing is application monitoring, and also your application is aggressively microservice application, too many microservices. So then one more point come into picture, which is service mesh. So this service mesh is basically one of the service mesh is good. Okay, so this part is also not there because our project doesn't have a service mesh. Okay, so this way you can be saying that you are a DevOps guy. Okay, fine, but market looks for more, right? So generally depends upon your experience. Okay, market might be looking for more information. So at least if you are almost like closing to 10 years, so probably, companies definitely expect more from you, and you should be having one database knowledge. Okay, so that's where you should have an in and out of one database, any one. Okay, need not to be any database works similarly. Okay, but you should know about one database. Okay, so how it actually, operates. Okay, and how its design it is, how to maintain it a high availability, all these particular concepts you should be knowing about them. And once you pick up one database, I would suggest MongoDB. Okay, my personal choice, I would suggest is MongoDB. Go with MongoDB, learn MongoDB. It's easier to learn, and it's one of the, so most happening product in the market as well. Okay, so you will get some understanding about a database. So having a knowledge on the database gives you some insight about your application, how it is performing. So sometimes there is a database, there is a lags in the, there is a lag in the application response. So you can find it out, so which layer actually it's going down. So if you have some end to end, so the database is also part of that. That's one thing. Okay, so one database knowledge should be fine. Okay, and today actually, so we are actually going more aggressively on the security part also. Okay, so we are going bit on security, and while we talk about security, okay, so I already shown you by pushing one of the image to ECR, isn't it? So I pushed an image to, ECR, and we kind of get the vulnerability report, container registry. So here we got a report. Okay, so if you see this scan and push is enabled, and you got some vulnerability reports. So there are 5 vulnerability reports. Okay, which ideally I had to fix them. Okay, ideally I had to fix them before going into the production. So generally, okay, so security is also a major concern, and people are trying to bring those particular security practices into the pipelines to make the releases faster. So in backend days, so whenever we make the product, so we used to submit it to the security team, and security team will kind of, so scan that environment, and so take a look on any kind of potential issues might can happen. And yeah, so then they will give the report, and then only you'll go ahead with the deployment into the production. But actually, okay, so that might cause certain delays in the, releases. So that's where people are actually trying to bring some tools which can do the part. Okay, so along with the persons, and trying to implement over the pipelines and making the things faster. So that's where people are looking more of security also in the tools. Okay, and so that is where I would prefer you to have some decent security knowledge, okay, apart from this course as well. Okay, so that is where you can start with the WASP. Basically, WASP is open source, okay, open web application security project basically. So these guys has decent products. Okay, so or follow their YouTube videos and try to understand, um, so what these people are actually trying to, what these people are, or what different tools are out there. So what tools can be, a couple of them are what they call it as is a project, OS top 10 projects you have. Okay, so you can go for top 10 projects. So these are the some of the projects. So you probably have some overview, so go through some YouTube. These guys actually keep videos a lot actually in YouTube, so their presentations and all. So you can just go through them and try to um, and try to call, hey, what happened? Yeah. So yeah, try to watch those videos, get some knowledge on that. Okay, really hands-on is not needed. And you can always say that the security is being taken care by security team if you are if you are from a big organization, but still having a knowledge is always a good idea. Okay, so yeah, and majorly try to focus on say, any vulnerability scanners. Okay, and mostly you can try with Amazon ECR. Okay, you will come to know about the CVEs, what is the fixes, and end of the day it is same. Okay, so that's how I would suggest you to start with uh, looking into the security related things as well. Okay, these are the two things which you need out of the box, and if you have those things also, confidently you can go into the market. If you're a senior or if you're around 5 years of experience guy, so then what all the tools I have delivered is also decent. Okay, to go into the market. But so when you go into the market, go confidently, and so learn about all the things whatever we have discussed. Learning is not about the hands-on. So in interviews mostly people will not ask you for hands-on. Having a hands-on is good, I'm not stopping you there, but so in the interview point of view, always you need to know about why are you doing. Reasoning is quite important basically. Why are you using it? Okay, so yeah. So if you are actually practicing Ansible, why are you practicing? If you are choosing an option, why are you choosing that option? So that why quite important. Okay, in terms of interview. So prepare in that particular prospect. Always put a questions. Why I'm doing this? Why I'm doing this? Why I'm doing this? Okay, you yourself try to give an answer, and if you are satisfied, so probably you can able to satisfy others. It's not a big deal. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would say. And so mostly that's it. Also then the next thing is so if I just try to put the points in a resume whatever we have discussed so far, I just kind of kept in a resume format. Just opening it. Mm. So you have some X years of experience working on focus on so um, configuration management, build and release management, CI/CD. Okay, so that's fine. And used Azure DevOps extensively, so you know the releases and pipelines. You worked on microservice architecture, of course you know that, and good hands-on on certain AWS services. Okay, and so yeah, when it comes to the AWS, so probably we have covered to an extent what we needed, but you know that there are more options out there for each and every service we use. So I would prefer you to so take some Udemy course or something at least. Okay, so just try to understand the different options around the certification related things. They tell you a lot of theory, so you can understand that as well. Okay, and so deploy Docker engines in virtualized platform using apps. In virtualized platform for containerization for multiple apps, you know the Docker, how to set up Docker and all, and you're good at Kubernetes, so you can say, and Prometheus, ELK, so Git and related things. And Git also, you know that, so how the whole release process works. Like, you always say that tagging is the approach we're taking. So when you create a tag, the pipeline runs. When you create a tag, pipeline runs. You can just say that, okay? So always. And so implemented a CI/CD pipeline using GitHub, Jenkins, this is all simple only. So good hands-on on Jenkins and share libraries, okay? And Azure artifacts and Nexus for this one. And also you know some SaaS related security practices by using SonarQube. And so Ansible Tower, I'm not sure whether I discussed about this or not, but yeah, so Ansible Tower is not a big deal when you write in your playbook and you want to run through some automation. So through some UI, Ansible has its own product, so which you can say that Ansible Tower. Okay, so yeah, you can just explore that. It's not a big deal, but or if you don't want, you can just remove that particular part. And you worked on extensively on Ansible roles, and certain your project tells you Maven, Node.js, Python, and Golang something, and worked on virtual. This is necessarily not needed. This virtual box and Docker. That's okay. So expert in designing your applications like MySQL and MongoDB, since those are in the database. Also, you're having RabbitMQ service like queuing service. You know the caching service like Redis, and you know something how API works and that operating system works. That's it. Okay, so this gives a decent knowledge basically, right? You know, you covered most of the points. Yeah, I think mostly that's all from my side basically. Hope I'm not missing anything. So yeah, after this today's session, I will send you, so this resume and the PPT, whatever we're trying to make, right, all the time. So let me explore it right now. So this PPT does that document. Probably if we have written some hand notes, I think that's not needed. Yeah, I will just try to send you these two things. Yeah, let it happen. I'll send you those both two things into your emails. Okay, and I think mostly that comes to the conclusion of sessions. Yeah, yeah. All right, I think mostly that's it. So yeah, so probably if anyone want to talk about something, yeah, please go ahead.
Raghu, Maven is not required for DevOps.
We don't need to do that. Okay, so that necessary is a development tool, and they, you don't put the dependencies, you don't put the plugins. It's a development needed plugins, development needed dependencies. They only write that. Okay, you don't really write the Maven.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole code, thousands of lines, they have written it. Why do they expect, so write couple of lines by yourself? They can't they do that? So DevOps is also something. Okay, we need to. It's basically one of the practice. Basically, it's a role and practice, right? So when you actually want to, okay, so do the things in a better way. So here, what people talk here is like who does the work also is a quite important thing. So back in days, so we used to say that back in days the tools are different. Like let's say there's a tool called as SVN. Okay, SVN probably don't. I mean, people don't want to give the access completely to the developer. There's a middle person sits out there because the access is also something is a tricky in SVN. Okay, so that means if you want to give an admin access, so probably you don't want to trust the developer. So there's another person sits in between who does the code merging and all. When you do the merging, okay, whose code you're merging? So you're merging the code, someone's code. But can you decide while you're merging, you're getting a problem? Okay, so can you decide, so whose code you're merging? No. Okay, so that is the reason. So you bring the, so the parties who are actually supposed to be involved in that or who made that particular code, and in between you sit and you do the merging because you have the permission. End of the day, the resolution will be done by those guys only. Okay, so you don't do that. Okay, and is that really needed only for so doing a puppet job is really a person needed? Okay, that's not needed. Okay, so the merging and all probably can be taken care by devs only. Okay, they are the right guys. Those two guys can talk. Why do you go in between? And also the tools also has been enhanced, and people are now using Git repositories and all in the Git and all. So you don't really require a person to go for a merging permission. Basically, they can do the merging. Okay, and so they so and they kind of so they kind of what we call responsible for whatever the code they are keeping it. Okay, so why the responsibility should be kept on another person, so which is necessarily not needed. So the practices, the best practices is a quite important thing actually to make the best outcome. Okay, on that perspective, so I mean we always say that so let's not actually get into someone's job, and let's not do that. And what is the end of the day, what value are bringing it up? That's quite important. Okay, so so I'm working for a client right now. Okay, they always finger me. Okay, you have to do that, you have to do that. Okay, I always talk about one point: what is the value I'm bringing? Okay, I'm coming from certain background. Okay, so if you utilize me in this way, so what is the value I'm bringing it? Okay, so it can be done by some other person as well. Okay, so what is the value I'm bringing? Some other person means someone has to do the work, but so certain things, it's more complicated to say exactly the point. I'm just trying to say what value you're bringing. Okay, so now you write your maven file, what value you're bringing. Okay, is it something you're bringing from your background? Okay, is it right or not? We have to think about that particular perspective. Yeah, if someone asks you also, you have to convey the proper message. Okay, so we always think about, so the value of the so a resource. And ultimately, you don't do anything in the maven. You don't need to do that, first of all. Yeah.
Hey Raghu, um, quick question. So while we are going through the lectures and stuff, obviously, you know, not obviously being careful of your time. Can we always reach out to you with the issues that we are getting?
Yeah, Slack, you always reach me, no issues.
Okay.
Yeah, not only during the practice, even after the practice also, while you work also, you can always reach me. Yeah, but when you're reaching me, you probably need to try it out. I can only give you the break. Basically, you're trying out so many options. Probably try
True.
to give you, okay, understand your scenario. I'll try to do the other way. Okay, but don't expect me to resolve it. And I hope you know that we had a couple of conversations. Just
Yeah.
saying, yeah. So basically, I'll try to tell, okay, what you need to do. You can go ahead and do that again. Yeah. So that way of conversation, you're always welcome. You don't need to stop yourself
Yeah.
later as
Thank you.
well.
Thank you. And besides, so other course offerings, whatever is there on the website, is that what it is, or do you want to kind of, like, for example, just what you pointed out, good point was security, right? DevSecOps.
Yeah.
Is there course offering that you have for that, or whatever is there on the website? Is that it? I guess those are the two questions.
You're talking about OAS website?
No, the Jovisoft, or however way we reached out to you.
Oh, okay. So you came through Jovisoft. That's okay. You can talk to them. So for their courses, basically. But yeah, so I'm not sure how do they organize. But yeah, so you came. I mean, I work for different consultancies where they
Okay,
actually put the students into my batch. Okay.
got you.
I'm not
Okay.
actually working for Jovisoft. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how
But
it goes.
outside of that, in general, your course offering, is that listed somewhere in general? What you decide?
Yeah, I do other than this Kubernetes, but Kubernetes also I'm not actually, I've been trying, but I'm actually not getting the enough audience to continue. That's the problem. When it comes to the orchestration tool after the DevOps learning, so what the problem is happening on the orchestration is everyone have their own preference. Someone needs Kubernetes, someone needs OpenShift, someone needs Docker Swarm, someone needs Amazon EKS, someone needs Azure AKS, someone needs Google Cloud. Different environments people are coming from, and the crowd is getting diversified. Basically, we're not able to get the enough headcount to start a batches, so which I'm literally failing. Okay, so
Oh,
there are
okay.
a couple of reasons. So this is one reason. Another reason is basically I'm also not doing it in a much disciplined way. So this DevOps I've been doing on the years. Okay, so and it's almost like everyone aligns basically, and so there is for sure saying that so this batch will start this end certain time like this, and this is the head count is expected. All going in smooth, but I'm not able to do that on the Kubernetes. Something my discipline is also missing. But
Okay.
still, yeah, because that discipline is missing because I'm not finding out enough crowd. That's a problem.
So the further question is that, let's say, like, during this DevOps, technology changes, things change,
Yeah.
right? A few months or a year down the road, there is totally something new paradigm of DevOps that we have not learned here.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep on updating yourself and provide that?
Yeah, so we usually, so from batch to batch, there will be definitely some enhancement will be there in terms of delivery, in terms of content. So something will be there. Okay, so it always happens. At least with my sessions, I'll not actually go with. I'm not a PPT guy majorly. You have already observed, and I'm trying to do PPTs nowadays. Frankly saying, okay, so I mean, I'm losing certain audience actually, not able to answer certain people. So what is the plan? If someone asks a plan, I don't have a plan, right? So you observe all the time during my session, there's no plan at all. You go, jump, dive, you swim, you die, and then
Right,
you live.
right.
That's how we do that.
Yeah.
And that actually is not liking by certain audience. Okay, so certain people, yeah, definitely won't like that. So they need, okay, some people, whoever is working, they already know certain topics and they want to cover certain topics. I'm not able to say that, okay, in this day we talk about this particular topic. Okay, so I'm not able to do that. So I'm also trying to I'm trying to change something around that. And also when it comes to the content, I always change it. Okay, I always try to, at least after 2-3 batches, I always rethink about, so what is missing, or what is something good in the market, or something I'm actually up to the standard. I always try to change it. And coming back to your question, like let's say after 1 year or sometime, so if you think about so there is a topic, so probably you can reach out to me over Slack and you just look into the syllabus, and if there is a major change, you probably can get into some sessions where while that particular topics goes on. Okay, so that's not a big deal, that's not an issue at all.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think mostly, yeah, that comes to yeah. So probably I just want to turn on my video probably. Just want to say thank you very everyone. So probably been bearing me from the last 3 months. So just want to say thank you. Yeah, like any questions, or if you want to give me some kind of feedback, it's all good.
No. Thank you, Raghu. Great meeting you and seeing you now. I wish you good luck, and I will provide the feedback on the link.
Yeah, please. And also I wish you everyone to achieve your future endeavors, and don't hesitate to reach me at any point of time if you have any kind of struggle while you're doing the work. So you're always welcome, but also just always keep that in mind that you're actually trying to ask someone's time, so try to get some value out of that. So just I mean, I usually like see a lot of people just dump the question, don't bother about what they're asking even. Okay, so try it out some options, and ultimately if you reach me, so probably you'll try to get a so kind of at least satisfied answer. Basically that's what I would say. Yeah. Like any others want to talk? Probably very silent batch. Usually it happens, like it's like a sine wave. It starts very aggressively in that very first week, but when it comes to the slowly, it will just go down. Okay, so that's anyhow it's quite common. But yeah, but don't lose the discipline. So at least you're here till the last sessions. Okay, so very few people. I think the strength was certain. I think mostly like 33, if I'm not wrong, this batch. So at least till the last sessions, we were able to see only like close to 8 to 9 people, I believe. Okay, so you are here, and so definitely if you are able to make that particular discipline for a couple of more days or probably or months. Okay, so you should be definitely able to succeed what you're actually looking for. Okay, so discipline is the only thing. Like I don't think so anything, if you're super knowledgeable or what we say, super talent person, although it doesn't matter basically end of the day. So discipline, without discipline you're nothing. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. So try to do it in a disciplined way and you should be able to succeed. Yeah. Okay, anything Anyone want to talk? No talk. Okay, all right. So I don't want to waste your time. So probably, and I would like to thank everyone for attending my sessions. So probably I'm hoping that you learned something, definitely something. Okay. So hopefully not, it's not like completely useless, I believe. So, and again, I wish you very best of luck for your future endeavors. And you can always reach me over the Slack, as I mentioned. And once again, thank you. So let's keep in touch. So hopefully we'll meet sometime in some day, somewhere. Okay, in some way. So yeah, thank you very much. Okay, bye. Good day. Good night.
Thanks, Raghu. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.